Welcome back to your pick a card. Thank all of you guys for tuning in today. As we get started, you can take a moment to overlook your selections. I will lay out the crystals for you, give you an opportunity to get to know a little bit about them and let you see them. If you need more time after the crystal interpretations, feel free to pause the video. We have 4 groups, and the intentions were set for the Mercury retrograde, which begins today. What is new for you or most significant during this phase? All right. Take a moment after the video, of course, if you're interested in any products and services, to visit astronauthoochie.etsy.com. August is the month for launching, so there will be new products launching, but the services and products that are currently listed, check them out here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for more videos, like where it resonates. It's like an energy boost for the channel, and I really do appreciate it. It keeps me going. It makes me work harder. So you want better videos? Hit the like button for your girl. Now, I welcome Spirit into this reading for us to get started. The timestamps should be right there on the play panel, as well as in the description box. And we'll start with the first crystal is cobalto calcite. So group 1 is going to be cobalto calcite. For love, emotional healing, compassion. This is Cancer and Venus energy. And I have a full description of the crystal information once we get into group 1. Just wanted to give you a little insight. Group 2, you have Rainbow Aura Quartz, Aura Healing, Magic, Universal Light. This is for all signs and includes Mars. Group 3, you have Tanzanite, Transmutation, Illumination, and Psychic. Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, with the planet Jupiter. Group 4, Chrysocala, Earth, Unconditional Love, and Cleanse. You have Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, and the planet Venus. All right, so I will give you a moment to make your selections. If you need more time, pause the video. But that moment starts now. And we will go ahead and get started with group 1. All right, group 1. Here is a close-up to your crystal. All right, I got you a little gift here. Love is all you need, especially with cobalto calcite, a stone of unconditional love and forgiveness. This crystal promotes emotional healing. Above all else, it fosters compassion for yourself, exuding the confidence that your self-worth can only be cultivated from within. Self-love rituals are encouraged with this stone, especially those that nourish and honor your body as a temple. Cobalto calcite amplifies the vibration of love, nurturing your inner child and giving you endless energetic hugs. You are always supported. So that is important to remember with this crystal. And we will sit it there for you. And we'll get started with your cards. All right, so I'm going to be shuffling out the cards live for you. But I did ask Spirit for one card from this particular deck, and you have the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords is an additional sword that breaks through the block of the Two of Swords. So there may be a block lifted and some level of understanding obtained with the Three of Swords. Though it has a name for sometimes pain, heartache, that may be why you have this particular crystal. And what I like about it is I have learned a lot through what is perceived to be heartache. Some of the things that seem to supposedly hurt the most, like it's supposed to, those are the things that made me, I don't know, like more amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not trying to cheer you up or anything. I don't presume that heartache is coming, right? However, if there's some confusion or limited conversation regarding a topic, you could get exactly what it is that you seek, which is an answer, which is clarity, which is finally letting go if you were stagnant or at a crossroad about something. And it may be someone else in your environment that could take a loss. Now we're going to shuffle out the cards to see where we're going with this, and I'm going to go with the Wild Unknown. We will use the Tarot, Oracle, and Archetype cards. Love these, the pretty little diamond box, right? Oh my gosh. I love Kim crayons for that. So let's get them shuffled up for you. And I do have the crone here, so there's definitely some wisdom gained, or just that wiser aspect of you that may be initiated. Oh yeah, I knew it. You have the Riddle. I see the Maiden. And then the rest of the cards hit the floor and we're going to leave them. Okay. Now, we have the Cave and the Shaman wanting to show itself. And so sometimes that's a thing within waiting to be born, because I see the seed. Other times it's something that may have been left without closure. And then there's the energy of retreating and where we've retreated to. You have 2 threes here, right? You have the Three of Swords. Spirit says no. But the Riddle, this is the triquetra. That's literally 3, right? Or no? But Spirit said don't look at it like that. Okay, great. You also have the Maiden. So the Maiden is part of the triquetra, actually, right? It's the Maiden, the Mother, the Crone. All of this pink gives me that Queen of Cups energy. And the Queen of Cups is very experimental. She goes out into the forest. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Because there's not a lot of holding back from past experiences or guardedness. There's not a lot of caution. There's not a lot of just like negative self-talk or hesitation. So she is going to get into something, okay? Regardless of what that is. Sometimes it may be situations in love. It could be friendship, but we'll see. She's also a healer. So for some of you, if your gift or ability as an empath is to heal, and sometimes the heart, if you're a holistic healer, or you just have some sort of gift and ability to have the right words, nurture in a certain aspect, there could be confusion or a riddle amongst friends or family somewhere in your environment, or something that you don't understand about a situation that you experience. So I appreciate Spirit pulling those cards out, because I felt it in those 3 swords there. And it wasn't, that's why I wanted to explain, it wasn't just like doom and gloom, like horrible or whatever. It just seems as though whatever stagnant block was there with the 2 of Swords is going to be lifted. And that is what's up, because it's forward movement. Now, the Panther here is beautiful, because I just love Panthers. So it may talk about an omen or synchronicity, something you may see. For some of us, it is definitely a past situation, possibly within a relationship, a return of some sort. Okay. Now, what I like is if there were blocks and the block is being lifted that you didn't understand what was happening and why, but you found some way to move through the energy with love and value for self. I feel that this could have to do with the Four of Pentacles, finances, or something that you just had to leave behind in the past for whatever reason, and it returns. I love that. Some of you could be going through returns in the transits or whatever. So depending on your natal chart, your age, your geographical location and all that, it may be significant. But Judgment points to discernment. Discernment can also talk about saving or holding on. And there may be some questions in your mind about a situation that involves holding on, our inherited natures, as well as letting go. There's also a little bit of scarcity there. And let's see. Oh, the crow came back out. So the energy of, and see, I'm giving, that's crazy. Thank you, Spirit. I'm giving a lot of mother energy. The maiden is the second phase, which is whatever it is that we've created, we're now nurturing and taking care of it. So it's not the super experimental energy of our mother, but it felt like it. Not going to lie to you. There could be evolving from the experimental energy into self-care, moving into your Empress energy, the divine feminine energy. And if I have any men here, it may represent a mother figure, a woman, older woman, or someone that you like, simply. Could also talk about an aspect of yourself that usually kind of secures and coddles us through what could be purges of things that we're holding on to, and seeing some stuff resurfacing that allows us to use now wisdom instead of the previous reactions that we've had. So that may be significant for some of you. Now, I'll also use some of the horoscopes to see if there are transits or things that are significant, since it did talk about returns, past situations, something being held on to, reserved, saved, or inherited, because the crow is usually the acknowledger of my divine child that chooses you for a particular task. And we have 12th house, Pisces. Now we have karma, shadow, and secrets. Secrets can also point to the mystery. For some of us, it may involve partnerships, balance, as well as one-on-one relationships. So you have 12, which is 3, and the number 7. But just consider possibly your 12th or 7th houses. And we have Libra and Pisces energy. Okay. Now, Libra and Pisces have been through a thing on my channel for years. So I do know that for some of you, there may be significant Libra placements. And some of you, there could be a person tied to whatever energy, lessons, karma, shadow, whatever the case is, tied to that transit. So just be open to that, and not just a person. OMG. For some of you, if it isn't a relationship, we still have karmic challenges over here, but it may involve past lives as well as natural gifts. And you have South Node. So South Node, 12th house, 7th house. Stay grounded, pragmatic, and enduring through whatever the transits may be. Let's see what we have from our alchemy deck. Bottom of the deck, I have smoke. Smoke usually indicates wherever the fire was put out, oh my God, and then ashes resurfaced. So there may be something, the fire isn't totally burned out. We're rising from the ashes. This is also Pluto Scorpio energy, which is possibly why I kept feeling the Mother or the Queen of Cups energy. Or am I right? Is it Maiden Mother Crown? I'm just a dingbat. Either way, I'm right. So, work with me. But rising from the ashes, we could have Pluto Scorpio energy. And usually what that is a passive aggressive sort of energy where We do not necessarily want to be confrontational. However, after poking the bear a few times, that outburst is going to be way worse, that third poke, than had we just responded the first time, right? So here's the crone here, and here's judgment saying use our discernment toward whatever this situation is, because some of us may have been holding on or holding back certain situations. We have the winter. So if this was scarcity or just feeling out in the cold, a difference of belief when it comes to relationships, it may be binding. I don't want to say codependent, but there I did see the number 15. So some very with the devil card, let me just say, it could be codependency, it could be obsession, it could be strong desire, materialism, because you do have the Four of Pentacles here. And the binding isn't real per se. It seems as if there's incarnated energy from past lives, past connections. And I feel the only way to alleviate oneself is to manipulate the energy while we're here in the third dimension, so that, once our souls lift and we go wherever we're going, it's not still a part of us to incarnate itself in whatever experiences we have, if there are other experiences outside of this one, right? Or if you reincarnate again. Usually we're not aware, but I don't want to continue to live the same life and do the same things forever, right? Because that sounds a lot like hell, right? And not the paradise or the, what is it, fourth, sixth dimension, 12th dimension, wherever it is that that a lot of us would like to experience, right? So let's shuffle to get one card, right? Because I saw a few. Some of you are gonna, Jesus, it is a collective reading. Okay, some of you may find a person that wasn't particularly honest, and then some of us may be using that self-love and healing from how we see ourselves possibly from past experiences, because the despicable face is just a lack of tolerance for one, right, ourselves, and or just someone that makes you shake your head like, I can't believe them. Okay, so that could be significant. I will leave it here. I was trying to get a good shuffle in, and Spirit was just like bam, boop, and pop. Whatever it is faded. I do see Wheel of Fortune energy. We got 3 wands, so that's just like, okay, yeah. I can definitely say some of us are choosing the road less paved to do. You're doing something that I don't feel many have done in your shoes. Can't teach you how to do it. And because of that, that's that experimental energy where we could go one way that makes sense and produces one certain outcome, or we could go the other way and instead we go neither and do something that's almost impossible but magnificent. Okay, so these experiences are faded because it's part of the work. It leads you to your destiny here, your calling per se, or your life purpose. And for others of us, it transmutes, sheds, or just changes whatever those energies are that may be less favorable. Now this feels like someone else, because you're real pink, you're real like, or your person is, whatever the case, right? Tied to this 3 of Swords. The Blue Temple, as well as the Drowned King, just shows to be a situation where someone could have observed something one way and didn't, and the consequences or experience teaches them, and this teaching creates wisdom for the road ahead. Does that make sense? So it's not like bad karma, it's not like a punishment or whatever, and it develops one to be crowned, right? Now the Drowned King, and me talking about the Queen of Cups, an overwhelming amount of emotions. The Blue Temple, kind of feeling blue, does give that side of the 3 of Swords where whatever this situation is or whoever they are, it may not feel good to go through whatever could transpire with that sword. The beautiful thing is, if there was a block, like I said, or some stagnance in a situation, that moves, that energy moves. So if the stagnance is this blue temple, where blue normally represents either the truth or just some feeling of, sadness temporarily, the drowned king emerges from that, just like the phoenix rises from the ashes, and ultimately leads them to be crowned. So, I ain't trying to invite myself into y'all's realm, group one, or manifest something that wasn't specifically for me, but I will say, I think I would take 3 of Swords if I came out with a crown. Because crowns are pretty and shiny and stuff, and it means that you're now part of the royal court, So that is what I have for you, group one. I do hope that it helps. We will move to group two. All right, group two, let's go ahead and get started. You have the Rainbow Aura Quartz. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And one of my favorites, yes, the crystal itself, but there's metals and like crystals, if you're into blinging things, that come with that rainbow aura of kind of like, it's just all the colors. It's like a yellow, green, blue, purple, pink. And they don't call it aura quartz or rainbow. It's another word for it. But it's just a finish that they could put on metals and crystals and stones that I really, really like. So shout out to you, group two. This card represents aura healing, magic, and universal light. I think that is super cool. Fused with titanium and metal of power, Rainbow Aura Quartz is amplified with enhanced healing properties. This stone is able to heal human energy fields by infusing the aura with rainbow fields of light. Yes. Rainbow Aura Quartz is a wonderful companion for astral projection and out-of-body experiences, joining you in the beyond while keeping your physical self anchored. Colors have a healing quality in Rainbow Aura Quartz and are able to match the tone to your auric's energy field to repair and release blocks. Okay, hello? Living your life in color with this crystal is a must. So it's all signs. And shout out to my homie Mars. I was born on a Tuesday, so don't sleep on Mars, you guys. But shout out to you, group two. Your card, and we're going to live shuffle out Tarot and Oracle, as well as I'll just show you. You guys are also getting the Wild Unknown archetype cards, and we will be using the Wild Unknown alchemy cards to see what unfolds. And whatever else I move to use, because group one got horoscope cards as well. So we're going to get it in. Now, your tarot card, when I asked Spirit to give me something that would just start us off with what to expect, what you could experience, or something significant, I love that group two, you got the number 8. It is August. We have the 8 portal, Lion's Gate. We have they call it the gateway portal. Something significant about this particular year is this is an 8 year. 2024 boils down to the 8. You have Mars, which is also 22. So if I did take the 2 2s, okay, 2024, yeah, the 2 2s and the 4, amplified, very powerful, however you want to look at it if you're into numerology. But you got an 8. Now, something could be significant to this year, this month, 8 days, 8 months, 8 weeks, whatever the case, or the infinity symbol. And I turn it like it's one on this card. It's crazy. But the infinity symbol is usually a horizontal 8. So there could be some infinite, being or some sort of connection to you and source or the gateway portal. But you have strength, Mars, but in a beautiful way, because you heard the Rainbow Aura Quartz. It wasn't something that you need to be strong for. It also has grace. So the strength card isn't just about the lion and or bravery, courage, and things of that nature, or ego. It also talks about grace and humility and two ways that you could go about something, right? We could be guided gracefully by our higher selves or spirit or source itself, whatever the case. Or, right, there's also the energy that she sort of has with this kind of despair. She's trying to like open the trap, ain't nothing even in the trap. It's like, what are you doing, baby? Or the strength that was required to do so. But I would question like what was in it, was she in it, what we trying to do? It's like sometimes when we try to fight our own battles, we could end up very exhausted. But if we had implemented a higher power or a higher aspect of ourselves, it could have been less physical work. She definitely looked like she was doing some physical work, okay? But either she made it out or she cracked it open and strength was needed. She looks very graceful though in that little gown. She dirty, but her hands clean. And it looked like her hair is washed, so I'm being funny. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to shuffle out your tarot and oracle cards to see what we have. Okay, I want to go in the same flow. So the next thing that we did was actually the archetype cards. There we go. So group 2. Ooh, we have the creator. So and the flame. Hello? Light the flame in your hearts. You guys definitely be brave and probably towards something artistic. That is crazy. There could be an offer, or you're going to have to offer up that fear. And like rely on the animalistic side of you that just isn't easily fettered. You know what I'm saying? Just unfettered. As I'm looking through the cards while I'm shuffling. If you have family, friends back home, or just others that have held you back, or if you've been doing shadow work, kind of spending some time alone, it's time for you to show your face. It's time for you to do something, even if you haven't had the most support. And go about it your own way. So let's get some cards on the table, right? Because all of it is kind of being shown through the shuffle. I'll get 1 or 2 cards for group 2 whenever you're ready, Spirit. Or I'll choose off, or not choose, but get it off the top. Now this is the card that made me say, your comfortability, moving out your comfort zone. For some of you, returning back home, what is home to you. It tells a lot about the village. Sometimes we got to leave the village to be ourselves, so the village could be your actual community where you came from. Others of you, the community is whatever it is, right? So I could be, and here's when I said the animal inside of you, you also got Kairos, which is significant because I was going to say it's tied to some of the stronger spirit cards at the end of this deck. You have Agape, which is our agate, however it goes, okay? Which to me looks like the 6 of Wands. So that's appreciation. That's like a reward. If you get a star card today, the star card with the 6 of Wands does talk about like fame. I'm not going to hold you. So while we're talking about creators, comfort zones, moving out of it, or going back to that thing that's home in your heart, like something you've always wanted to do but may not have been supported doing. And then Kairos for sure has a message for us. These cards, oh my God, are so significant because you have the threshold, and I want this card. We're going to have this card because is it significant? I'll just say that Athena or Aletheia represents the truth. You have the lover, which talks about your choice, or a lover. So a true love may be returning for some of you with this threshold. It's like moving forward, coming towards you type deal, or like taking that leap of faith, crossing the boundary. But what I wanted to show was you have the mother. Group 1 had the maiden. And that is crazy. So I'll just tell you a little bit about it since they only got 2 cards. You guys already have 3. This is what some of us are moving from. That's very interesting. The eggs are here. And this is I ain't gonna say it's the star card, but hear me out. They have the pearl here with what seems to be dough wrapped around the serpent and wheat, or other eggs, whatever the case may be. They are being protected and nurtured. And if you can see, there's a hand reaching for the one. So it's kind of like being chosen or the chosen one. You also see the number one up here. So the number one connects to the magician. Now, what does the magician and the mother have in common? They've created something. So it talks about our creations, protecting them or choosing one. And some of you may be deciding what that is. Okay. Now, the village is a comfort zone. The threshold is crossing out of it, needing to take a step forward. And I'm going to see, because I know that it's super special and I don't want to zoom through it, what the deck has for Caros, if I said that right. So we have, synchronicities. That is so dope. It talks about alignment, ease, and decision and action. But when in dark, it may be fighting against time. And I feel like that is some of the energy that I could see from her being faceless, face down, drenched in dirt. But like I said, she got the trap open. Maybe like flu game Jordan, 3 seconds left on the clock. Who knows? We all have had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time. So something may happen for you, group 2, that could feel like time and space stops when you're in this particular moment. Some of you may feel like you're rushing against time, but this card suggests there is secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. So within this nonlinear realm, we access divine timing. Divine timing is sometimes connected to the 1111, right? And so if you feel that you're fighting against time to do something or get something done, I feel that you don't have to use that energy, and that's where grace may be necessary, because maybe you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe you have moved from things that made us feel comfortable, right? And in the near future, there could just be a moment where you feel you're racing against time, and this is a confirmation or clarity saying, don't. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it's all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. So you guys, it is very important, group 2, when this card comes out, and I will remember that this day forward with this particular card, is that it's about watching for the sign. And of course, I love the blue and I love the eye. It is definitely the guide speaking, or the gracious, grateful one in this particular situation, because it looks like, those AI photos and videos that we see sometimes with the wings and the eyeballs or whatever. So I think that that's super cute. Now let's see what we have for you, group 2, from the tarot. All right. End of a cycle. Blocks being lifted. Offers and opportunities. I feel that because I specifically said, isn't mythic time or the synchronicities like 1111? Well, look what you got. You have the 9 of Cups. It may talk about wish fulfillment, or just remember, with all of this fire and her in a bit of despair, remember to stay hydrated, right? But it talks about acceptance for some of us, bliss and happiness, as well as a wish fulfillment. And I will say clarifiers. Now look at that. Because of the tiger, double down and on the stand hydrated. It's also this alchemy energy of the fire and water. So the fire is what caused us to move, I guess, differently to begin with. Whether that was like from your native town or through, away from, whatever wasn't favorable. The fire also, it's like knowing when to say when. That is so crazy. Because this is also, if it gets too hot, you have to step forward. You're going to step forward or burn. Okay? So maybe the guide or the grace is giving us acceptance, bliss, some bit of happiness, right? You can find this through meditation. Some of you actually may be receiving something that makes you emotionally satisfied, happy, and healthy. But the tiger is also here. And right behind the tiger, which is crazy, is the swan. So for some of us, this fire and water mixture may be very significant. And I know that sometimes the water is the emotion and the fire will be the passion or the desire. And sometimes that's beautiful, where we move out of some sort of creative block, right? For others of us in the creative block, I feel that we may be disconnected emotionally and or for whatever reason have dimmed down our light or detached a bit from the things that we desire. It also talks about our reflection. So sitting in the emotions too long maybe not be the most favorable thing, and make sure that we are active and in pursuit of something that stimulates us or make us happy that could be significant, because where the mind flows, the energy goes. It's something that crossed some of your minds right now, because I do see the dragonfly, which is significant to the emperor, and the head, and Scorpio, and a few other things. You have the raccoon. The raccoon is hiding itself for whatever reason, just kind of sitting back and isolated. So some of you guys may have talents, gifts, and abilities that you don't use, okay? And it's like use it or lose it type deal. There's something significant to the recent past when it comes to this raccoon, that something was or is hidden. We have the waning crescent moon, which leads us up to the new moon. So for some of you guys, that may be significant while we get into the Mercury retrograde, to not get lost in isolation, to be sure to that fire, use it, but at the same time, the grace, the happiness, and bliss, focus on those things. There's some sort of harmony coming, and 11 cups, right? So strong on the wish fulfillment. And I feel these two energies are coming out because some of us are thinking about a thing, but we're holding back from being fully what it takes to get it or have it. If you're dealing with another person that may be thinking about you, but not in communication with you, that happens. We're brainstorming about making a change. This change has possibly, or the lack of change has possibly been holding us back. But this is something coming into balance and harmony with acceptance. Now, if there are any fears, stage fright, nervousness, or just not being sure of taking that step, getting out of the comfort zone, doing that thing, whatever it is, I feel that the buffalo energy helps us to accept things right, wrong, true, or false, good or bad. So we never feel that angst or that fear in the first place, that nervousness or that need to hide, because it's not really nonchalant and don't care, but it's just very accepting and understanding that it's all going to be okay. Like at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. So it's no need to kind of like be fearful, nervous, or hide anything, which is super cool. Now, hiding something, if there's another involved, this is someone that you know from the past, okay? Now, someone from the past could be hiding their true feelings, thinking about you a lot, and wishing that things were different. All right, so we're going to pull some horoscope cards. That's great. Let's go for group 2. All right, first card out. You have Neptune, mysticism, spirituality, and escapism. Now, that raccoon is over there escaping. Okay, let's see what else we have, because Neptune is still in Pisces, which could be significant in your chart. For some of you, that could be strongly connected to your soul, mind, and consciousness during this phase. So you may feel motivated to take steps, get out of your comfort zone, or even questioned doing so in the recent past type deal. And they got 3 horoscope cards, so I'll see if Spirit has the same message for you. I can't force it. I just try to remember to be fair. Was that revolution, invention, eccentricity. So isn't that like being like super different, eccentric? So for some of you, innovative energy is what Kanye kind of wanted to wake up in all of us, which means when I say your abilities, your gifts, what you are moved to do, what you came here to do, and what you possibly had to break away from and have to break away from. Maybe even someone sees your growth. Uranus is about unexpected situations, and you do have that tower energy through the buffalo. Now there could also be some Neptune is kind of tricky, right? Now the village represents back home, so some of you may not be where you grew up, in that neighborhood, in that state, in that town, in that country. These situations may not happen to you. It may be someone back there, and that's crazy. They could be Leo, or have placements with Neptune, Uranus, or a significance to the 3rd quarter moon, which would be in a couple of weeks. Because I know the new moon is today, depending on when this video uploads, which kind of starts Mercury retrograde energy. And then the new crescent moon was the other day. And then we move into these phases. So it may be in the near future or present moment, but we have forgiveness, readjustment, and breakdown. So this is an unexpected thing that may require some sort of forgiveness and may require a past situation or a past person. It could even be, because I just like people to not force it. If you don't resonate with that, you could have a moment in time where something strikes and there's a remembrance. We could need to forgive ourselves. You know what I'm saying? For something. Especially if you're away or detached from this person, place, thing, or situation. And there's always, not always, but there could sometimes be guilt or like residue for decisions we make when we move away from things. But then at the same time, if we don't move away from things, we get, advice sometimes, or the cards say, we're not doing that. Or you're holding on to things that no longer serve you. And, so when is there ever a right answer? So that is what we have. And then I'll get your alchemy card to see what comes of it. We have summer. So this is the present. And then we have Aries. So when I think of summer, I think that is like the Knight of Cups, King of Cups energy. And when I have Aries with it, outburst, anger, destructive behavior, or, right, fairness, because the King of Cups is very fair and he's a people pleaser, but that's also what could lead to the outburst. So if there's a person that has ever called you that, or that you were that way with, they could even be having a tower moment and hiding it. Damn, somebody hiding a tower moment? That is cray-cray. But it does still give like true feelings too. So let's just get one card. Ooh, they're confused. Got it. We have the fog. It seems like it. The fog either points to the 7 of Cups that I saw earlier, where I said you guys have options and possibly some opportunities, because it is a collective message. But other times the fog is like not seeing things clearly. And then I have this little destroyer energy in the backdrop where it was a fated situation. It's also self-sabotage. So it could be a series of things. We have Saturn here, okay, at the bottom of the deck. Saturn could be a restrictive energy. It may be important for some of you if this person could drink. So that there could be something coming of a situation from a person back home, or that or it could be you. But when I think of Saturn and I'm looking at that 9 of Cups and I see the fog, which is kind of like the Seven of Cups. This is like, it's the opposite of sobriety. And then the mother's milk is usually what those substances interfere with. So an aspect of your natural self that could produce chemicals in the body to replenish it is like affected by this thing. And if it's not you, it's the person. So that's why they tucked off like that in the first place and want to pop out unexpectedly like nothing happened, because they ain't wrapped tight. And that is for sure. So I'm gonna leave that there. I didn't mean any harm by that, but it just flew out and it feels right, and I'm sticking to it. That's what we have for you, group 2, and we will move to group 3. Group 3, you guys chose Tanzanite. Tanzanite is for transmutation, illumination, and psychic. That's deep. Connecting you to spiritual realms and beyond, Tanzanite assists in living with more awareness and bringing spirituality into your day-to-day. It helps navigate your journey between altered states of consciousness, from deep meditation to accessing psychic powers. Metaphysical abilities are enhanced with this stone, creating a direct line of communication between you and your spiritual team. Tanzanite unveils your true path, transmuting the old into the new and acknowledging that the road is ever winding. Your journey is constant flow, or in constant flow. Trust your path, group 2 is your message. And again, this was Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, planet Jupiter. Doesn't have to be your sun sign. Could be any sign within your chart or your environment, as well as the transits that affect the entire planet. Now, we are going to pull cards from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. We have the Wild Unknown Spirit Oracle and Tarot that we're going to use, as well as the archetype cards. And lastly, we're going to throw in some horoscope. Okay? So let's see what we have here, starting with the card that I asked Spirit for through my Insomnia deck. I love these cards, as well as the cover. Shout out to Bruno or Nicholas. You got the Page of Wands, babe. This is raw power. This is, look at that letter. I'm sending you 4-page letter. Okay, that's not bad for a person who can't sing. For some of you, because we specific, and I appreciate Spirit, because I was just about to go on, baby, look. Well, with that metaphysical card that came out, for some of you, the Page of Wands represents benevolence. It represents dedication, right? To stay dedicated to your practice, maybe having more energy if you have been energy deprived, or just saying that through this phase, Mercury retrograde or not, you may be receiving communications and or the messenger yourselves, okay? Now, for us normal people, right, because y'all are amazing, it also signifies just a need to pay attention to the details, because through a Mercury retrograde, the Page of Wands just talks about things that are said and not well thought out, missing little details, and it happens to the best of us. You may even notice it at your jobs, among coworkers, or, you know, school is starting back for most of the kids, just kind of moving fast and kind of forgetting. So that is one side of it. A nice, I guess, well, I don't know, it might be not nice if you ain't comfortable with it, but someone blurting out I love you before thinking about it, and then sitting wondering if they meant it type deal. Those are the kind of, that's what I mean by like an action that was quick and then it was like right. So let's shuffle some cards to see what we have here. All right, for my group 3. Okay. All right. Ooh, we got the healer. So you guys are definitely magical. You got the number 25 with the healer. That's, you know, kind of like the sweet baby, honey. And some of you are definitely the ones. Okay. If this was like, oh, look, wands, the Page of Wands, the one. Okay. Now, you could, now, because I'm a love bug, some of you could be the very strong psychic, mystic, divine being here. Yeah? You also could receive some communication that somebody jumped to the gun to do for whatever reason. Spirit could be involved. You could have did some ritual. Who knows? If you've been trying to call somebody to you, they could be coming. Now, the one sometimes represents the magician. It could also represent the one, like Neo, the person that is the one. And you guys know in that movie, it was the one for Trinity. That's the only one who was going to be the one. Everybody knew that. But without her, right, him being the one was significant to his own personal path, but his personal path was still connected to her. And that kind of sounds like twin flamey. If you don't resonate with the twin flame storyline, that is okay. But usually when there's a strong, benevolent, like dedication, even if you guys have cussed each other out, forgot about it and put it in the dumpster, it's bigger than you two. And that could be of significance for some of you. Others, okay, it just talks about something new because you have the forest here. Now, you may be going through some new experiences and come out of it a bit different, or finding that someone that may be your significant other. And I say that because this isn't the only reading that I've seen or done that points out between August and I think November, possibly running into a long-term partner that could be a spouse for some of you guys, okay? We have the vision at the bottom of the deck, which is the brighter side of the Two of Swords, which means that you can kind of see through the veil, and some of you communicating directly to source or whomever you consider to be the creator. The forest is sometimes can't see the forest for the trees, which points us back to that needing to pay attention to the details and things kind of being on fire or moving fast. The healer, now, okay, to not overshadow that, which again was the number 25, I feel like was significant to some of you who are just really on a soul path or have that purpose in life. It refers to the old soul, the gifted one, and the light worker. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return, to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. So that's super dope. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the conflict of forgetting. See what I'm saying? So be careful. There may be something that we're forgetting, and I'll pull clarifiers to see exactly what that is. You have self-contained, grateful, and awake, but when in shadow, forgetting its own practice, tired, or needy. So I think we can just actually collectively agree that it's something about forgetting one's practice. And that could be as simple as detaching from spirit or, from source, and then incarnating into this physical world, trying to have an understanding of who you are, what you were, like what your strengths and abilities are, the things that you've already mastered, and even, what we're to do within this life. Now, the one, you have 3 X's, which are the Roman numerals for 10. There's a storyline behind the 3 10s. It could be the 3 fates. 10, 10, 10 also refers to past, present, and future. And when we go about making decisions, considering how it affected us in the past, what is happening right now in the present, and what is it going to do for the future. That is very important for me to throw out there. You have 36 here. And I say that because the forest could be a series of things, usually choices, decisions, the soulmates that we date, the jobs we choose. The forest is just where you go in to, it represents everything. They got tricksters in there. They got healers in there. And for some of you, thankfully, right, either you are, that's what you come out as or go into it as, or that's what you find, which is so dope because, like I said, the forest, all of the archetypes from this deck are in the forest. And for you, I think this even says, like, within the, because I'm being nosy since I keep pointing out, I believe it even says that in here. It points out the healer, and then it points out like the other, like could be trickier energy. But for you guys, it was specific to the healer, so we're gonna stick to that. But this is the wood, the thicket, the jungle. Magic is here. It includes all dynamics, a little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing our way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. So you may be experiencing something magnificent and feel like you on one of those field trips with Peter Pan and then forget something. So it's like just be mindful. Okay, my puppies are tripping. Be mindful, group 3, because your deal is simply possibly forgetting a thing and or your own practices. So it's like whatever you've been doing, if you're journaling, if you're meditating, if you're, we're doing our 369 challenge where 3 times a day you write down your manifestation, 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. So if you're doing that with us, don't forget it during the challenge. I set reminders in my calendar so it kind of beeps throughout the day for me. And there was only one time, I'll be honest, that I was like driving and I just couldn't do it. Otherwise, I try to set it up to where I can at least have my journal in my bag or somewhere next to me, to go ahead and get it done without like saying, without being stuck in traffic, in the car, or just away and it slips my mind. I'm trying to be real stiff about it. So anyways, you guys have the one here. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense the intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet, when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. Now, I love that this sounds like a super deep meditation for you, group 3, especially with, I'm still remembering this card that's leading us, where when I saw this color in deep meditation, I just told people, I met God. They may think you crazy. But it's if you know, you just know that it's a reason that the electric blue light or the crown chakra has this color, and the crown chakra has a connection to, a higher power. So for some of you, there may be some experiencing that energy and or some practices that could get you there, but still don't let the forest be a distraction. I ain't gonna hold you because, it's the forest. It says all duality fades. Now, when duality fades, that's like emergence of something, because duality is, I think, the devil card, the chariot, but there's a few tarot cards where it talks about duality fading, and I feel like they are connected to source, or divine beings, and so that's super dope. Now, it says that the precious knowing that life is a gift. I was thinking about the star card, and we are both the giver and receiver of this fortune. So that's kind of dope. When in light, I don't know why they are so they're really getting into it. When in light, serves, loves, accepts, and resonates. But when in dark, look, ignores, omits, and excludes. Group 3, it is important to not ignore and not forget. Okay, now we're gonna shuffle out some tarot cards, and then we'll get to your alchemy card and your horoscope card. Let's see what we have for the tarot. We got the 3 of Pentacles. So for some of us, it's work related. Others of you, it just involves some sort of collaboration or a compromise. For some of you, you may be juggling. Okay. Now, this is what makes us forget. I'm not going to hold you. I don't mean to trigger you. I am not licensed to diagnose certain disorders. I think I could make recommendations, or just, I don't know what I could do with my license. But when we have ADD, ADHD, hyperactivity, or things that interfere in the psychic realm, okay, maybe that's why I thought of the devil card. So if there's, excuse me, dudes, this is so rude. But so just be mindful to practice protective, little remedies for. Hey, hello, could you guys? And then they both looked at me at the same time. Could you guys stop that? Thank you. So just protect yourselves, okay? Now we're gonna get two more. See, it doesn't matter. It's the same circumstance. Now, some of you, there's an adventure calling your name. Okay, there's doing something different, doing something exciting, and that could cause us to forget some things. Others of you, it may have to do with the South Node, and this could be significant to a connection that you have, a gift or an ability that you have. Since we are talking about psychic energy, meditation, and certain spiritual practices, the South Node is also where your past gifts and things that you've mastered are, as well as karmic energy. Okay, but I don't feel like it's karmic for you. So one more card for you. Okay, we got 3. It came back out, so I think I was supposed to leave it. And for some of us, I think if there's any, I don't want to say negativity, but where this juggling pertains to, it may be a lower vibrational energy that involves the emotions and could, be non-committal and kind of flaky if they're juggling too much and trying to do it all, like compromising things, juggling a lot, but appearing to be non-committal and flaky. That sounds like forgetting your, like the card said, however you want to use it, that, because this is exactly what that means. And so however you resonate and tie it into that, I'll leave that there, because we talked about a lover. We've talked about us trying to keep up with our practices, and it's consistent. So yeah, there's that. I even see the octopus. So it does talk about all of those different, tentacles and directions one could go, leading to some sort of confusion. Some of you, it could be text messages or a trip, like getting a text message and it's like, oh shit. Right? So we got the peacock with the 8 of Wands. The peacock usually gets our attention. For some of you, it may be a male or a masculine energy, because those are the peacocks that got all the looks. Now, also the 1,000 eyes. For some of you, you may be receiving a lot of messages. If you're strengthening your gifts and your abilities, the 1,000 eyes could be the ancestors and all those that came before us that are helping us, guiding us, watching us, protecting us, or providing insight. And the 8 of Wands came out with it. It talks about... Would you guys cut it? They haven't did this in any of the groups. I am so sorry, you guys. Taking action. So action is also involved in this 8 wands. If not, cut it out. And they both like not even 12 inches long together. Like chill. Like y'all some monsters or something. Messages, distance, travel, distant relatives, messages from the distance or going the distance. That is what you have. Well, for your tarot cards, group 3, we are going to pull your alchemy card as well as a horoscope card and see what we got. Now, for some of you, the alchemy card is connected to the androgen energy, which has sometimes been the 2 of Swords energy for me. So seeing through the veil and also just being equipped, right? She's blindfolded. You're going to have to see things a different way. The 1,000 eyes also gives that advice sometimes from the peacock. And then having the sword, so it could talk about communication or just having a different way to communicate, because remote observation or any sort of telepathy or clairvoyance or something like that, clairaudience, those are different forms of communication beyond just like talking the talk. It's kind of like walking the walk. So I think that's dope. But let's see. This is, I know it was going to come out. Here's that Capricorn energy, just a little bit. And just like you just had the androgen energy, it's like the 2 birds with the 2 trees. Everything's doubled or mirroring. It's kind of funny where you have the 2 serpents doing the same, kind of like as above, so below. Now, alchemical wedding, I have learned, see, that's time heals all, y'all. When I first saw alchemical wedding, you would think about it was a mixture of souls, like it wasn't physical. So possibly you and someone else's like higher person or whatever has this spiritual contract, and you guys do things in the astral realm. That could be true, especially this flaky person that stayed juggling and refused to compromise, which sounds just like the twin flames that we all gave up on. So, another thing that I've learned through the alchemical wedding is that breath work and some kundalini energies where it's you and it's source. It's like you and God or whatever that euphoria or that bliss is, which points to this hue, right? Some of you guys see, some of you guys could be experiencing something like that. I'm nosy. I'm going to look at one more. I like that. The ash came up. You know, I could just be nosy. It wasn't even for you. But if you're curious, it just represents like the phoenix, burning down to the ashes. Something is complete, it's over and done with. And unless you see the smoke card, it is what it is. Okay. So that is that on that. Now for your horoscope card, let's see what we have here. And that pertains to Capricorn or anything that has fallen throughout the video. Oh, you guys got Mercury. We have communication, correspondence, and expression. So I knew that was a text message, and that 8 of Wands says a few of them. We have Cardinal. We have initiation, spark, and vision. Spark is also the Page of Wands energy. So it may be a cardinal sign. You could check the cardinal signs in your chart. Initiation, spark, and vision. Vision, seeing through the veil. Initiation, communication, or into a higher realm through whatever practices you guys have, which is super dope. And I'm going to take one more. See what we got. You have Aries for some of you, first house. It says self, body, and presence. So that is what I have, group 3. And I do hope that it helps. All right, let's go group 4. You guys had the Krasokala. And I was definitely going to pronounce it incorrectly, so I have to turn off the card first. Beautiful, okay, in person and on your little gift card here. Earth, unconditional love and cleanse, known for cleansing the aura of toxins. Chrysocolla, because I've been saying Chrysocali my whole life, is a great crystal to use when experiencing high stress levels and burnout. The surface of this crystal resembles pristine oceanic views. Okay, ocean views. I think that's a Nipsey song. And the aerial vantage point helps you gain perspective on situations hidden close to home. Take a step back when those situations arise and remember to prioritize your needs first. Deeply connected to the energy of the earth, this card reminds us to get in touch with our feminine side, the part of us connected to our capacity for unconditional love. That's deep to start out with. Unconditional love, earth, cleanse. I don't know why, but my eyes like zoomed in on gaining perspective on situations hidden close to home. So let's see what happens here. Now, I'll tell you now, we are going to take alchemy cards from the alchemy deck. We are going to take a few cards from the archetype, Wild Unknown. We have the Animal Spirit Oracle and Tarot from the Wild Unknown mixed together. We're going to shuffle out some of those. And you also have, drum roll, horoscope cards coming out. So let's go ahead and crack open. I set the intention for Spirit to give me like a starter, right? So each of this deck was you guys' first cards. This ain't bad. You have the King of Coins. That's very grounded energy. The King of Coins is wise and has mastered what? The third dimension for the most part. This is like a master of self type of energy. Could also be professor, a teacher. So be mindful of that. School starts back for a lot of you guys. And we have the materials, right? So this is a king card, woman or man, you know, in the materials with this green chrysocolla. Don't laugh at me. So let's pull out some archetype cards and get it popping and see what our King of Pentacles has for us. Now, what I will say, okay, that was quick. He's facing forward, so this is a present moment type thing. He is planted forward with his pentacle in lap. In this deck, there are the Four of Pentacles that are buried, and as well as the Page. So it talks about the raw energy that it took to start whatever this mastery is still with him. You know what I mean? So whatever the lessons are, wherever the wisdom came from, if this is like a guide to someone in the physical, whether it's you or someone else, the individuals that it instructs or teach, remind them of self. So this has been unbiased. Like I said, when something hits close to home, for your pupil's sake, your collective sake, or those closest to you that you offer your expertise to, whatever the case may be. Now, the dirt falling out the sky, I'm sure is for no reason. I mean, I'm sure it's not for no reason. So it just feels like the initial ace that came out of the treasure trunk is here. So the initial ace of pentacles, possibly the Page of Pentacles energy, and so on and so forth. So it's just like he's collected a lot. It could even be a lot of material. So some of you could be collecting a lot of material or a lot of wisdom, or it talks about a collection of some sort. So that's kind of dope and very specific. We have the seed that came out first. Okay. The box. This was always like, when I saw the seed, it would be like my star seed card, because this pearl in other cards usually stands out. There's like plain eggs, and then there's the pearl sitting within them. It also represents, you know, something, that beautiful thing being orchestrated inside. I know the empty box could be like Four of Cups energy. So for some, as I say, this collection or whatever, we have the more than enough vibe, and the seeds that we've planted, the fruit of our labors, maybe some past returns like that. Okay. Everybody got 2 or 3 cards. I will see if Source wants to. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is for you. I can't hold you. It's significant to some keywords that has come up in the other cards. You have the Mentor, you have the Dead End, and just like, it was, I don't know what number it was, but it was another group that got Capricorn energy. And I always say that if actual Capricorn comes up, or the number 15, or like the Devil card, but this is the 15, this is the shapeshifter. So for some of us, if you wear many hats, or if there's a person in your environment, you know, that, like I said, I've had that where someone reminds me of an aspect of myself, and that allows me to be tolerant or lenient, or at the same time, don't do that, or at the same time could give favor unnecessarily. So in all fairness, I can't give favor because I resonate with someone. If I'm a teacher, if I want to be, are you serious? If I want to be non-biased and prestigious, you know, across the board. But the 2 cards that came out in addition, I'll keep the Dead End. This is like the 10 of Wands card. This is the Mentor. The beautiful thing about the 10 of Wands energy coming up is the work, right? The work has been done. Usually when you get to the mastery aspect of the King, this seed could be some of you working some of your magic. We have been talking about Kundalini energy on the channel. We've talked a lot about breath work, the Christ oil, or doing some sort of manifesting work through visualization or yoga and alchemy. So you guys are doing that, and in essence, manifesting a lot of materials, okay? Reading materials, or just getting an understanding of what it is. Now, at the same time, without grounding, rest and relaxation, or some sort of other stimulation or rest, the Dead End could also point to rock bottom or being burnt out. All right. Some of us could go from rock bottom nothing to having a lot of material, like to have it. Would you not do that, baby? Give me a minute. Okay. They're spoiled. So I don't want anyone to feel sorry for them. They are just wanting, I'm talking to you guys. So it's just like, come get me. And, it's inappropriate. So yeah, rock bottom, nothing, seed planet, mastery, seed planet, See, so I hope that you guys are getting it. Now, the mentor says for some of us, within something that I've said, there's a message that should hit home. And if you have been through something before and it resurfaces, your reaction to it, or what led you to that moment again, resurfacing with this number 6 and our choices and decisions with the lovers, there's that. The mentor is also a teacher. Sometimes life can be a teacher. Now, I think a mastery for some of us may also be your capacity to sit in the empty room, which is no distractions, okay? The empty room with this rock bottom energy, the only way out is up and through. So if the seed card is representing some sort of maze or life, the labyrinth, some of you may be finding yourselves out of a sticky situation, rock bottom, or just boredom, right? So I think that that's super dope. And a mentor or a teacher could be of aid. That came up a lot, I want to say, at the first couple of weeks within July. Getting someone who's been through it or getting a mentor or some sort of teacher is something that has come up. Now, I'm not going to sound reluctant to say it, but I don't ever want it to seem like shameless plugs or whatever, because I have courses. I am a coach of some sort, and I'm available, at times for different situations like past life regression. You name it, whatever, marriage, business, startup, because I'm a theology major. But yeah, I can say that, and it would be like insane for me not to like offer myself sometimes. However, if you don't want to consult with a person, you can do research, and there are many videos and books and things of that nature, businesses that have already flourished that you can mimic to scale yours. Whatever this is for you, there's always a way to learn more. I just want to say that. So a mentor, or like I said, a teacher, may be significant for you guys in group 4. And we're going to see what else we have, because that's crazy that it's definitely about materials. And for some of you, it could be work related. I did see the Emperor. It could also be just my mystics. We have the Black Egg coming out. We have Capricorn coming out, or the Devil card, which could talk about the taboo mysteries for some of you. I see the Frog, which is healing, and I also see the Daughter of Swords, who is the student. So she was poking out. I will take her. And she was by the Two of Wands and the High Priestess. So let's see where we're going with this. Now, the King of Coins with the Devil card is a wealthy man. It's a wealthy person. Some of you may be coming up fast because of this mentor. I can't call it. We'll have to see. We'll see. Because I do see the Ace of Cups, and I also see the Hangman. Okay. So the Hangman represents the center. The Page of Swords is observing and waiting for the moment. We have the Tiger. So somebody's waiting for the moment. Ooh. Okay. This is action. This is attention. This is highest potential. I do see that. Some of us may be taking actions toward things that would bring about our most boon or favorable aspects, which is the potential that hasn't been kind of like lived out. But then, like right after all of those cards, I did see the Camel, and the Camel keeps its emotions, or the water inside, but does sometimes represent the energy of being burnt out. So you see how there was like this excitement in the delivery, but then this energy of burnt out. So let me see why, because the feet are on fire. So it does talk about a little bit of movement. Let me see here, because the Black Egg is a spirit card. And there's like the gold egg, the cosmic egg, and the black egg in this deck that talks about speaking from an authentic voice or the truth. And that could be because the Daughter of Swords and Shadow could talk about a lie. For some of us, the devil could represent Capricorn, or just freedom and liberation to understand that there is no good and bad and reason for us to lie in the first place. So we may be sitting with something and moving out of that energy and up, but not without getting to the root or the seed, what what is it, the root cause of a situation. You could have been waiting on, some of you may be waiting on some sort of truth or understanding or wanting to know something. It also talks about enlightenment. Okay, so some of you guys may be like a teacher of the mysteries, which is given like hermit energies. That's kind of dope. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, which is the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses or small talk, noise or lies, not even little white lies, it says. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, and perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in. Books draw us in. The Page of Swords loves books, okay? And the King of Pentacles has books, so that's kind of cool. It says, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I do to be true about myself? What is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, which may be represented in the, sorry about that, you can see it better, the Hanged Man, we speak from an unsure place. So this could talk about insecurities. So there could be, things that, what does it say, too close to home, that may make us feel insecure if we aren't being authentic. And I feel like the mastery of self is getting to a phase where we don't live in fear by, and no disrespect, I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate, but different political views, different religious views, just things in our environment, we've come to a point or may experience something that shows us a different form of belief, if that makes sense. Because I'm not putting this into your lives. I just want to give an example where some people have had life experiences where they say, okay, I know for sure that this isn't God, or questions, you know what I'm saying, a higher power, or questions life, or questions themselves. So this is like questions that have very, authentic truths. I don't want to say dark truths, but for some, it ain't bubble fluff cake BS. So that's why somebody would call it the dark truth, but I'm not feeling it like that, like a dark truth. It's just a less favored reality, but it is what it is. And the Daughter of Swords is an investigator. So we're definitely going to look into what is and why it is. And then what's crazy is both of these individuals have the pentacle. The goat does represent some level of mastery. If this has nothing to do with the shadowy energies of Capricorn, it talks about discipline, freedom, liberation. So some of you guys are going to be liberated through the truth of a situation. And we did have a reading today where, who was that? We had a reading today, and I think group 1 got the Three of Swords, and I was like, yo, this is not the typical Three of Swords. This is a truth that releases a block, because this Devil card also represents being at a crossroad. The Hanged Man does represent, waiting, stuck, stagnant, or, just not yet fully aware of something, but seeking some sort of truth. So I'm not going to make up what that means for you. That's just what it is, group 3. And we'll pull a couple of more cards to see if we can dig up in it. Okay. Now, when the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, like I said, we speak from a place of unsure. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits, like the Hanged Man, for us to reconnect. It's available at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice, okay? So the birthplace of our voice in a Mercury retrograde is very detrimental. And I want to know personally, I don't know if you guys want to know, why the dead end is there with the box and the seed. So let's get an alchemy card to see if we can get some help with that. And then we'll also get your horoscope cards. You guys have, I saw the alchemical wedding. So some of you may be in here from group 3. Maybe not. Oh, we have chaos. Chaos is connected to the mysteries. Okay. Is this? I thought that was my girl. I thought I saw the Sora Mystica. Now, some of us, there's something within us that we're not being honest about or that we're insecure about. There's something within us that it doesn't. Okay, let me show you. So it's like, I'm not just saying it. Oh, we have the benevolent guide. So that's cute. The benevolent guide is going to be gentle with us. Even though we said no fluff cake or BS and all that kind of stuff, the benevolent guide could be the king of coins. The not so benevolent guide, or the dark truth of the matter, could be this goat over here, because the goat is also wise wisdom and someone who could have mastered a thing or two about this third dimension. Now, the despicable face usually refers to an aspect of us that we don't recognize or we try to shy away from recognizing. And iron, number 22, it does talk about action. It does talk about a square. And it's like, for some of you, you could be discovering a truth about something that you didn't expect. And it seems a little dark, but it's just the truth. Especially if you dab into the mysteries. Like, chaos is here, right? I was watching one of my favorite readers, and she was doing a reading for Sagittarius. Now, I watch it. We be like, why do you watch it? You're a Pisces. Well, my South Node is Sag. And I just like her. So I watched it. And it talked about, what was it? Was it chaos magic? I do think so. And I misinterpreted. Now, it looked kind of like this, what I thought. I thought of it as, when I always tell you guys, it's like, even though it's different for everyone else, it's like the full moon is like releasing things for some people, or like wrapping something up. And I've always said I got gifts, or like I just feel like the universe would give me something. So I think that that's pretty cool. And sometimes it's tricky because it's not something I could keep. Sometimes it could turn into a headache. It could be like meeting a new person, then I end up, it's an idiot that like it ain't always just on the up and up. But I have noticed different gifts or different things that come around those times, and I said it usually comes after I had to get out of body, about something. So that's what I consider chaos. Well, when I looked into chaos magic, it was more about the intention and communicating with deities or angels. It took me down a rabbit hole of Enoch and some other things I won't bore you with, but it wasn't just about the chaos of it, and like using dark energy for favorable intentions. It could be for some of y'all if y'all into manifesting, because you're going to need it. I'm not going to hold you. And I say that because some of you may be wondering why certain things happen in your life where you feel stuck or stagnant and you can't move forward. And I wish I had said this sooner, because now it's coming to me. If you may not have much, you may feel like you're in a rock bottom, and you definitely could be a star seed. And the chaos card is coming up with the 3 fates, right? It's like the part of our lives that was already written. So it could be the natal chart, it could be the transits, it could be whatever. You may be heavily influenced by past energy or planetary alignments. And it's like, well, how can I get the destiny that I want to manifest, and not just the fate that was already, proposed for me? And it's like these 3 chicks got the answers to that. You know what I mean? And it also asks that question that we go search for the answers to, like, how do I get from fate to destiny, right? Because there may be some things that I don't like about what was written. I ain't feeling it. And then having the audacity to take action toward it and square up with it, right? It takes somebody that Okay, it takes a bad mama jamma, I would say, to go from a dead end to a very high level of material abundance, which is why, like I said, to me, even as someone who works with herbs and spices and intentions, the black claw root, and some other money elixirs that I have, implement them, and they work well together. So that's why I was like, I just noticed we got the devil and the king of coins in the same reading. So that combination does speak to wealth, a lot of it, and quickly. Others of you, it also speaks to the discipline and the determination to master through educating oneself or talking to somebody who knows something, you know? And then, like I said, this rock bottom energy, sitting with ourselves and being displeased, I guess, with things that are being brought forward, and being angry with where we are and what it looked like, and just squaring up with life, child. But that's what I have, group 4. That was very interesting, and I do hope that it helps.